up, guys? It's time for more One Piece. This is episode 531, all the way up to 530. What is it? 4? Yeah, 4. We're doing 4 episodes in today's video. Did we do 4 last video as well? I think we did, right? We did 4 last video because I'm essentially relining it up, changing the schedule a little bit so that I can have my 4 episodes going on, like I post them on Wednesdays on my Patreon account. So that makes it a little bit easier for me because for a while it was a little bit out of sync there. So we're doing 4 episodes today and then 3 episodes next video. But I'm looking forward to this as always, especially with this current arc. I'm really interested to see how much I continue to enjoy it. Like I'm still riding the high of like the time skip and all that happened before it, and the fact that the crew are all back together. I'm still riding that wave. That wave's gonna wear off eventually. I know it has to. It's got to eventually at some point, you know. Waves don't go on forever, or there'd just be a constant tsunami that went all the way around the earth. So there's at some point it's going to die down. I don't know when that's gonna be. If I had to prediction, I'm gonna guess like about halfway to 3/4 of the way through this arc, I will start to like dip down and go like, okay, now we're back to kind of okay episodes. that's my prediction right now. But right, I'm still just enjoying riding this high. Imagine if I just rode it all the way to the end of the series. That would be amazing. That also would be basically impossible. There's no way that could happen, especially since people say that post time skip the show's pacing does tend to slow more and more. So I'm sure I'm gonna have problems later on, but let's enjoy this little honeymoon time of me not having that many problems. I still have problems with the show, but they're not that big and I'm having a great time. So let's jump into episode 531. Make sure to support the video on the channel if you can. I am a small channel. I'm a insignificantly tiny channel in comparison to the greater YouTube sphere, so please make sure to support the video. I know sometimes it doesn't feel like much, but just commenting, hey, I loved this video, or just liking the video, all of that stuff helps me out a lot. Go tell other people about this channel if they like One Piece reactions, or on other reactions if people are looking for similar things. You can feel free to recommend me to them. And if you want more content from me, more of this stuff, then make sure to go to my Patreon account. If you want the full-length versions and early access, you can get like the next 20 or so episodes on there right now. Or you can go to my, you can join my YouTube membership down below if you just want to get 2 extra videos in edited form on this YouTube channel. And you also get a bunch of extra stuff, so make sure to check that out. But without further ado, let's jump into episode 531 of One Piece. Woo! It's me, sunshine, yo, we go! Okay, recap Rubik's. If you're new to this channel, this is a Rubik's Cube that I do while the recap is going on, and my goal is to beat the recap. Oh, that's it. Wow, okay, I only got that much done. That was a short recap. Nice. Pretty happy about that, honestly. That is a short recap, not how far I got in the cube. Oh, shit. A few hours ago. This is strange. Oh, now we're jumping back to this. Oh, you should have stayed silent for until they completely got it open. Yeah, you can get it open now. Can you not get out yet? That'd be a very funny bit if he... Okay, if he like blew his load too early. Oh my god, he's like fucking, what's his name, Clayface or whatever from Batman? Don't hurt them! Oh my god. Oh, they're drowning his gunk. Okay. But what, are you just gonna absorb them? Swamp fruit, okay. Oh god. I think he is just absorbing them. Jesus. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh god, he's gonna sell them as slaves. That's fucked. Jesus, man. Ah. Yeah, we're good. Oh, I like that the mermaids trust in us, though. Oh no. All of this stuff is making the Straw Hats look really bad. Damn, I wanted these guys to be on our team. Damn it. I like this guy. I just realized, is he a merman? He has a tail and stuff, right? I don't think Neptune doesn't seem like he'd take offense to that. Yep, now because you were fucked up, Sanji, you don't get to see her. Of course, Kimi, you're a sweetheart. Yeah, make the most of it. Oh? Ah, you got Zoro? Okay, that's good. As long as we're not wanted in this town before then. Oh. Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that tie-in. Aww. Yeah? You're gonna do some study. Good question. Ah. So we just found light here and we built a town there? Oh. That's crazy. Nice. He's getting ruder and ruder. Bubbly coral. Okay. Ah. That's cool. Enjoy yourselves, you two. Whoa. Wow. That's a cool design. The fucking dragon is really cool. Jeez, man, what a door. The door just has a big hole in the center of it. So they're just gonna be walking around with a bubble around them the whole time now? What? Who are these guys? Oh. Is he gonna create his own little bubble? Luffy's gone. Shirahoshi. Minister of the right. Minister of the left. So did Luffy like create his own bubble? Or is he swimming? He can't swim! What am I talking about? He created his own bubble. Being able to smell food even though it's in water is crazy. Is this the episode that I've seen? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are. There's lots of fucking weapons in the door. This is the episode I've seen. I remember this. I'll talk about it in discussion. So I know what's going on here because I remember this. And Sanji would be so jealous. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, that makes it very obvious. Oh my god. You don't want to like wake up a girl and have her immediately be crying at you. Right, so you get lots of assassins here. Oh my, her voice constantly wavering. Oh my god! That's scream crying. Aww. We did it! We finally did it! This is an episode that when I was younger I saw. So for reference, for those who don't know or don't remember, I'll give a very quick context of me with One Piece. When I was younger, One Piece was, you know, sometimes on TV or sometimes, you know, people would be playing it or whatever. And I originally hated One Piece. When I was a kid, I hated it. I hated everything about One Piece. It was a show that I really, really like despised, essentially. But I had tried a few times to watch some episodes, or I had seen some episodes. Now, I can't remember the situation it was, but I remembered seeing this episode out of context, and the only reason I remember it is because of that final scene. Because it was the only thing that I liked. The rest of the episode, and I can see why I wouldn't have liked the rest of the episode when I was younger, because out of context, the episode would make no sense, and it'd just be really boring, and the characters would look really boring. The only thing I liked was the fact that, oh look, there's a giant cute mermaid, and I was like, that's awesome. So like that was the only thing that I remember, was the fact that there's just like a huge cute mermaid, because I like female characters, and I remembered that character. And then like since then I've seen people post, you know, every once in a while I'll be like, oh, that's the mermaid from that One Piece episode. And then eventually I memorized her name was Shirahoshi just from seeing that over and over again. And so if you saw in, I think it was last video, they were talking about the Mermaid Princess, and I said like, oh, like Shirahoshi or whatever. I was saying that because I already knew that character, and I'm not gonna hide the fact that I know that character. But I honestly thought when I got around to whatever this episode was, that I would remember more from the episode, but I genuinely didn't know until I saw Luffy, like, looking for food, and I was like, oh no, now this is starting to look familiar. Now I'm starting to remember. And then as soon as he entered the dark room, I went, okay, yeah, no, this is one that I remember. So this was the episode that I saw. I don't think I saw any other episodes from this saga. I literally just saw that episode, I think. So I don't think we're gonna get to another episode that I'll remember a scene from for probably hundreds of episodes, because the next thing that I have in my head, the next flash, feels like it's like a major thing in a different arc or something, but I really don't know. So I'll let you know if and when that comes up, or when it comes up. It's going to come up eventually. Maybe I'll have forgotten everything about it by that time and I won't even recognize it. That's very possible as well, because sometimes I think I've seen something, but I actually made up a scene in my head. This was pretty much exactly how I remembered it to be, but it's not that difficult to remember. Oh, there's Luffy climbing on and bouncing on giant boobs. Like, that's something that I remember pretty clearly. It's not that difficult to remember. I didn't remember her voice, though. I didn't remember that her voice was, like, so wavery. And I forgot, actually, that she was, like, crying and stuff at the time. So I guess she's gonna be, like, a extremely meek, like, crybaby kind of character, maybe? Or, you know, she might just be a crybaby right now because she woke up to someone climbing all over her. But anyway, I remembered Shirahoshi because she's great. Like, just like Afalandra, she's cute and huge, and those are the two prerequisites for me liking you. I'm sorry, but if you don't follow those what's the word for it? Those prerequisites, then sorry, you can't talk to me. I apologize, but I'm not seeing anyone else. Thank you. Anyway, pretty decent episode. It was mostly, other than that, you know, like, mostly relatively uneventful. Well, actually, that's not true, because we had the swamp fruit stuff at the start. So he can absorb people just into his body. He's just got like a bottomless pit inside of his form. So he can just create a swamp and you fall into it, and then he reforms his body and you're just in his body somewhere. And he said, you know, I'm going to put you to sleep or whatever. And he wants to sell them. So they're not dead. So somehow they have like air in there. But I imagine they're like going to constantly be in like a stasis of just being trapped in that goop. That's really, really horrifying. This guy's a scumbag. I mean, if it wasn't clear enough already, it's truly horrible. So, yeah, I am excited for us to take him down eventually, cause yeah, if they hadn't made it clear enough that he's horrible, we watch him absorb 3 like sweet mermaids and then talk about how he's gonna sell them, and then he's going to find more women to sell. Like, it's fucked up. It's truly fucked up. I do like Franky going to see Tom's relatives to like spread the good word of Tom. That's very sweet. I think that's a very nice detail to have in this arc, because I had honestly forgotten that Tom was a fishman, and so I wasn't even thinking about the fact that that Franky would have some skin in the game here. He would have some actual reason to be here. Like Robin, you can basically always say like, oh, I'm going to look at history stuff, and it always makes sense, you know? But with Franky, they gave a very legitimate reason for him to split off from the group, so I liked that a lot. But, yeah, anything else? Ryugu Palace looks fucking awesome, by the way. Just a really, really cool design. I think sometimes I have to appreciate Oda's, like, environment designs more, because he's really, really good at it, and it has some really interesting stuff, but I don't often mention it or think about it too much because I generally don't care that much about building and landscape and environment designs at all. It's my kind of least favorite part of storytelling is the setting of storytelling. I went to university to study creative writing, and my least favorite courses that I did there were ones that were based around environmental writing and setting writing. I hate that stuff. I think it's really, really boring. So it's not something I focus on. I'm a character guy. I like talking about characters. I like focusing on that stuff. So that's generally what I'm going to be complimenting Oda on when I do. But it is very clear looking at things like that he's extremely good at designing interesting looking places. And the Ryugu Palace looks really, really cool and interesting. But I mean, whenever I think of One Piece, like the peak of One Piece design, I think Water 7 is the most beautifully designed thing in One Piece so far. From everything that I've seen of One Piece so far, there's something about Water 7, like the city Water 7, that's gorgeous and super interesting and engaging. I still remember the feeling when I first saw Water 7 from a distance and I went, holy shit, this looks awesome. I still have that feeling in me. So yeah, I'm hoping to see more stuff that's, you know, that doesn't look like Water 7 but gives me that same feeling. And I mean, this one was pretty similar. I felt great about this. So anyway, let's move on to the next episode. This is episode 532. Here we go. Okay. Recap Rubik's. Here we go. Alright, that's a cube complete. Wonderful. Luffy can't handle people who are crybabies. He doesn't get it. Oh my god. Ah, what that's for me. You got such a weird voice. Whoa, what are all those legs? Oh, she's like, Rapunzel? The disco lights. There we go, Vanderdecken. Oh, well, I understand this guy's motivations. I'd be in love with a 80-foot tall mermaid as well. This sounds like it's setting up for like her to be like Boa Hancock. She falls in love with Luffy, and then Vanderdecken hates Luffy because of it. Oh, these are your declarations of love. These weapons. He sounds like Buggy. I love an actress who does really good, like, scream crying. I've always found it very funny. Oh, you're a seahorse. I understand now. I thought your mouth was just weird. Aww. He's just standing there. Holy shit! Oh no! Oh no, he saved her. Oh, holy shit! Barely. He only just saved her. Jesus. Okay, she doesn't. Oh, she knows where it's from that rose? Because he always does that. You don't have a stomach! Hi. Oh no. Damn it. Of possibly destroying the island. Yeah. That sucks to be. Yeah, that's basically a thought crime. Haven't you read 1984, motherfuckers? Okay. Oh, okay. She's hiding him because she knows that he saved her now. Aww. Luffy, shut up. Oh! Did they just stab him a little bit? Yeah. She gonna get the legit story? Oh my god, Zoro. She's hungry. Bring all the food. Shut up, Shark. Oh, that's a slow closing door. Jesus. Well, if it's just 100 episodes of Luffy in a room with Shirahoshi, I wouldn't be mad. Aww. Not necessarily. Not in the One Piece world, at least. You decide. That's cute. Yep, the 9th. Mark? Oh, so like he always hits his mark? Oh. He literally marked you. That actually makes a lot of sense. He's so hungry. He's like, fuck your backstory. Give me food. Oh, amazing. Yeah, legit. Oh, that's why they were like, it's been 5 minutes already, right? Oh, that makes it much sadder that the shark was gone for a while. It's just Luffy. She's very cute. No, it's not. Why is that hard to pronounce? I guess they would sort of dream of seeing the sun if you were down this far down. She's so patient. Aww. Aww, she's so delicate. That's actually a reasonable response to someone yelling at you like that. Most of the time, people in the show scream at each other and then don't think anything of it. Aww. This is like episode 1 with Kobe. Yeah, Luffy really doesn't like people who cry a lot. Oh. Makes me sad because I like characters that cry a lot. Oh. Oh, that's very sweet. This is very nice. I like this. He's just sleeping on a stone floor. Oh my gosh. They're just taking out the guards. Yeah. You guys are still in the bubble, right? They can just pop your bubble? Yeah, they did. Well, it sounds like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah. It's only happening because of the prophecy. What's he gonna do? I feel like Neptune's a good guy. I appreciate this. I guess that makes sense. I need to think about it, so you need to be in custody until then. Zoro! How the fuck is he here? He broke out? Oh my gosh. Oh wait, there's a literal arc there. It's Noah and there's a big fucking arc. Okay, I see. Okay, these two are teaming up now. Why do they have to put on a glove for that? I thought at first he was like anti-fishman, but he is a fishman, isn't he? Actually, if he's a fishman, wouldn't he not need the bubble? But he looks like he has like webbed fingers and stuff, right? Am I dumb? Alright, kill Neptune. The island? Oh, the kingdom, okay. Alright. It's a fun episode. I liked it. I mean, it was mostly Luffy and Shirahoshi, which is why I liked it, because I like Shirahoshi. But it also, like, I like how Luffy's character is extremely consistent, even though it's sad to me, because, like, this is, like, the biggest difference in Luffy and I, is, like, Luffy, I think, he doesn't like useless, wild emotionality. Luffy appreciates people being emotional for good reasons, but he doesn't appreciate it when people are being emotional and kind of not doing anything about their situation, which is why I think in the first episode he didn't like Kobe, and in this episode he doesn't like Shirahoshi, because it's like she's there and she's been pampered, but also has been locked away from people, and she's just sitting in a room doing nothing about it, and she's constantly crying, you know, and he's like, I don't like you. But you know, it's also just something with me where I really like emotional characters. Part of the reason I like emotional characters, even if they're crybabies are fine for me. I know some people get annoyed by crybaby characters. They're like, fucking stop crying. And I kind of get annoyed at people who get annoyed at crying characters, because I don't think it's a big deal. I think, like, a character crying, like, that being annoying for people feels... I don't know. It's like, crying is a way to express your emotions. And when people are sort of like making fun of that or getting frustrated or annoyed at that, it feels like insensitive to me, even though I understand, like, she's crying for kind of no reason here. And so it's like, yeah, she's crying just because she did something and then she got repercussions for it and then she got, like, scared by it, right? But at the same time, you know, it's not something to necessarily blame her for. Some people are more emotional than other people. And if you're not an emotional person, you don't get why people are crying. Like, you think, oh, you just, you know, just be like me or suck it up or whatever. Now, I'm coming from a place of, I have experienced all the wide spectrum of emotionality in my life. When I was a kid, I was a crybaby. I would cry at a lot of stuff, right? Then I got older, and there was a point in my life when I was in my sort of like teens, early to late teens, all the teenage years basically, where I like never cried, just like straight up never did, like not at anything, not at things that made me really sad, not at media or anything, right? I just didn't cry. And then there came a time where I kind of matured a bit, and I got to the point where I was then crying at media. Like I opened the floodgates. I think it was when I was 18 or something that I first cried at a piece of media. And then after that, actually I can check exactly when it was. Hold on. Oh, no, I can just do the math. I think it was 11 years ago. How old was I then? Maybe I wasn't 18. Maybe I was hang on. 16. No, it wasn't 11 years ago. It was probably more like 10 years ago. So I was 17 or so, you know, when I first cried at a piece of media. And then after that, I sort of just became more open with like, because for a while it was like a point of pride. I was like, I've never cried to a movie or TV show ever, right? And then like after that, after I did cry and I was like, well, I've broken that streak, I sort of like let myself cry at more stuff. And now if you guys watch this channel, or if you watch my main Gent Watches channel, I have a playlist on the Gent Watches channel called Videos Where I Cry. You can go check that playlist out. But it's basically every time I cry in some sort of significant way, more than just like tearing up, but every time I cry in some sort of way that I consider crying, I put it in that playlist on my main channel. And you've seen, it happens a lot on this channel. I cry at a lot of stuff in media now, and when I'm rewatching stuff especially, like you guys don't even see the main times that I cry, which is like I will cry on my second watch of something more often than I cry on my first watch of it, because then I know all of the context, and then I know what's coming and all of that, and it really gets to me. So yeah, it happens all the time, but I still now don't cry at like real life stuff really much ever, but I still think I'm an emotional guy. All of this to say, I like emotional characters because I tend to appreciate emotionality being represented on screen in some way or another, and I like when characters let those emotions show. My favorite example of it, and this is probably in my mind the best example of it, is Izuku Midoriya, Deku in My Hero Academia, because for some people, one of their biggest complaints of early My Hero Academia is that Deku's a crybaby, that he just cries constantly and he cries all the time and it's so annoying. He cries, blah, blah, blah. He won't stop crying. And whenever I hear those criticisms from people, I like just a little bit like lose a tiny bit of respect for people when they say that. Not because I necessarily think they're wrong to think that, but because for me, I was so glad to see a main character who has, you know, these really important things, and he's this male main character who does have really cool moments and stuff, who also cries at a lot of stuff. He cries when he's happy, he cries when he's sad, you know, and things really get to him and he gets really emotional. And I love that. I love that a character can be fucking badass and awesome and brave and be doing the right thing, but also be like crying about it. So I've always loved emotional characters, and also with like My Hero Academia, he's like achieving his dreams, and he's like hitting these very major points. We're seeing like the most important points in his life. Of course he's gonna cry, you know. So I really like emotional characters because I relate to them on some level, and on another level, even when I don't relate to it, I appreciate being able to see it. So I like Shirahoshi, but I also understand and appreciate that Luffy doesn't like it. I appreciate the writing of the fact that Luffy consistently doesn't like people like this. But when he doesn't like someone, he also doesn't make it their problem, generally. Like, if he doesn't like someone, but they're not a bad person, he's not going to do anything to them. You know, he's actually very nice to Shirahoshi, and he's offering to like get her out of here, and he's saying, I'll save you and stuff. He can do that while he still doesn't really like someone the way that they are. He's just gonna be honest with them and go, hey, I don't like you, but anyway, you want me to take you out and do something? So it sounds like he's negging her essentially, but yeah, no, I appreciate that about Luffy as well. If he doesn't like someone, he doesn't make it their problem, and I think that's kind of cool as well. And I kind of relate to that as well. Sometimes I don't like people, but I also have like a complex where I need everyone to like me. So if I don't like someone, sometimes I still will be like trying extra hard to impress them, because I'm like, well, I don't like you, but you're not allowed to not like me. That's not fair. No, you have to love me, and I have to not like you. It's unfair, but that's how my mind works sometimes. So, yeah, anyway, wow, that was a lot of talking about, look, I've been waiting for Shirahoshi for a long time. I'll dive into that character's psyche a lot. The mark fruit is interesting. So he can mark someone, and then he can like have guaranteed a guaranteed trajectory to them, essentially. So it doesn't, the reason it's not killing her is because there's shit in between. So something can obstruct it. But if it was an open field, he'd hit her 100% of the time. So that's an interesting fruit. Now I wonder, can he mark anyone else, or is it like I have a mark? I'm imagining it like Hunter's Mark in Dungeons and Dragons. If you've played Dungeons and Dragons, if you play as a ranger, you can have a spell called Hunter's Mark, which is like a pretty major ranger spell, and it's essentially you choose someone, you mark them, and then you've got a mark on them for a certain period of time. And while you've got a mark on them, it's easier to track them. And when you hit them, you do more damage to them. That's the main draw for that spell. So, but the thing is, you can only mark one person at a time. So if you switch your mark to someone else, you lose your mark on the first person. That's kind of how I'm thinking of it here, the mark fruit. But I don't know. I have no idea if that's how it works, but I'm guessing that is how it works, and that's why he's kind of so singularly obsessed with her, because it is kind of a symptom of the fruit that he has. Is his fruit actually makes him metaphorically like suited to being obsessed with one singular person. But is there anything else? Oh yeah, Zoro broke out. That was crazy. And also, when they showed Noah this time, I actually noticed, it might have been there last time and I just didn't notice, but they showed Noah the place, and then yeah, I see that there's a giant ark. There's Noah's ark is there, so that's why it's called Noah, I imagine. So okay, very cool. All right, let's move on to the next episode. Man, we're only halfway through this video. I feel like I've discussed a lot. My throat's already hurting. Let's move on to episode 533 of One Piece. Okay. Recap Rubik's. Here we go. That's the cube. Complete. It's kind of awesome that Zoro just let himself out. Like, we saw him in the game, and then he's just not in there anymore. And he's blocking King Neptune. Zordy. Yeah, rupture the bubbles, yeah. Makes sense. Puts us at a major disadvantage, the fact that we have to defend this bubble. Oh, where'd Nami go? Is she's expanding the bubble? Oh my gosh. Yeah, my girl. I think they could have had a reason for her to do that with their climate attack. I like King Neptune. He's a nice guy. Get ready. What's she? Does she have a change of clothes? You have a T-shirt you can throw on? Oh my god! I think Luffy's gonna hate that. Yeah. Like what the fuck? Just come. He's so impatient. I love when voice actresses can do that, like, scratchiness on a cry. Faye Mada, the English voice actress, can do those scream cries very well. Oh my gosh, just tied them all up. I don't know the way out. You never know the way out. Don't be mean. I wonder, this isn't really an insult to his character. I wonder if Brook is our most useless member. They might be very strong. Oh, right. Oh, really? So it's not charged? Oh, you need a new pose? Interesting. We might have to get rid of that log pose and get a better one. That's the doorbell. Shirahoshi's great. She's better than she's ever been. Well, she's crying a lot, but... Yes, sir. Oh my gosh, we really do seem like villains right now. Jeez! We're actually acting like real pirates right now. A dirty water imp? Okay. Yeah, well, we're not planning to kill any of them. I can't see this going well at all. Mm-hmm. He protected this island. Don't fight against Hordy? Okay. Sea forest. Okay, why and what? Why don't fight Hordy? We are good people. Oh my god. What the fuck? Kung Fu point? What the fuck? What? Oh my gosh. Come on, Sanji, just continue to act cool for a while. It'll be okay. They're already in trouble, it's fine. If it makes me feel any better. Well, we know she wants to see the sun, but I don't know if that's going to be the place she says now. Oh, The sea. Oh, the sea forest, I imagine? Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. I appreciate that she summoned all her courage to do it, and if that made her cry, that's fine. Oh my god. Aww. That's reasonable. Make sure my daughter's fine. Come on, Zoro. Send Nami and Zoro. Zoro for the strength and Nami for the empathy. And Usopp and Brook stay here to defend these hostages. Oh my god, she doesn't have any! She's a mermaid! Well, the good thing is Brook doesn't ever act on it. He just says the inappropriate question and then that's it. What's happening here? You're gonna make Shirahoshi cry if you ask her that. Oh, absolutely he would. If Shirahoshi dies, I'm closing this channel for good. That would be way worse than Ace's death. That's true. If you get attacked while you're in the water, Luffy can't really save you. They're gonna be gone by the time Brook gets there. Oh my god! Holy shit! That's fucked! That's really fucked up. Oh my gosh. Let's go, coward. Oh, she's wearing Megalo as a suit. She's inside his mouth. Oh my god. Oh, he's struggling as well. Oh, poor shark. Oh my god. That's really funny to me that he's that Megalo breaks out and he's like, It's really the idea that like he's doing this for her, but it's like the most uncomfortable thing. He's basically choking the whole time. That's a very funny bit, I think. We got some new stuff in this episode. We found out we need a different kind of log pose or a new log pose or a special log pose or something for the new world. The new world, it really feels like the new world is like, oh, everything that, you know, it's like retracing, you know, the steps of us going into the Grand Line, starting anew, you know? So it's like when we came into the Grand Line, it's like, oh yeah, maps don't work anymore. You know, you spent your entire life doing map shit. Well, you can't navigate just with maps anymore, so fuck that, here's a log pose. And now, we've come to the new world, and it's like, oh, the log pose that you've gotten so used to? Yeah, fuck that, you can't navigate using that anymore, you need a different log pose. So I wonder if they just have, there's just gonna be a better log pose somewhere, and it's gonna look the same, but it's just gonna be you know, they'll just say, this is a better one. Or if it's gonna be like a completely different thing entirely. I still maintain, genuinely, that the log pose is one of the coolest things that Oda has come up with in this show. I remember when we first came to the Grand Line, and I mean, I want to go back and watch my own reaction, and I think you should. I probably won't watch my own reaction, but you should probably go back and watch it. The moment when they introduced the log pose and I'm watching that, and I'm like, oh shit, there's real potential to this story because of the way that the log pose works. Like, that was such an exciting concept at the time, and still 500 episodes later, I'm still like really excited by the idea of the log pose. I just think it's such a cool thing, and I love the look of it as well. So whatever, if we just get another log pose, then nothing will change really. If we get something that's completely different, I hope it gives me that same feeling, like just when I look at it or whatever. And I hope it works the same way as well, because I really like the way the log pose works. But I mean, if it's completely different, you know, I'll reserve my judgment. Maybe it'll be really cool. So the messages were from Jinbei were, don't fight Hordy, and I'll be waiting in the sea forest. And now Shirahoshi and Luffy are wanting to go to the sea forest, so we're gonna come across Jinbei, I imagine. I don't know how soon, but we are going to at least eventually gonna come across Jinbei. And I'm excited for that, because Jinbei is a fucking G. He's amazing. And but the idea of don't fight Hordy, why? Like, that's a very specific. It's like he knew, Jinbei knew that Hordy was you know, gonna be doing some fuckery, and he's like, look, just don't get involved in that. Or is it like specifically like, look, Hordy is out of your league? Like, Jinbei knows. Well, Jinbei knew what was in Luffy's league. Like, he's seen what he's won to, and he's seen what he's lost to. He's seen his capabilities. Jinbei knows what Luffy can do for the most part, but he hasn't seen Luffy in the past however long, right? Like, he wasn't on the island with Luffy and Rayleigh. So I think he hasn't seen him in 2 years. But he does know that he was training with Rayleigh for 2 years. So maybe he still knows like what his capabilities are, because he knows how Rayleigh would have trained him. Maybe. So maybe he's saying that, like, look, you still at your current level, even after growing this much, you don't have a chance against Hordy, so don't do that, because you will have the same thing happen to you as happened to Ace. Like, you'll have to stand there and maybe watch your crew die, and I know that will destroy you. So so maybe that is his advice with don't fight Hordy. But I don't know, I feel like you've got to know Luffy. Luffy doesn't listen to that. Like, maybe, I mean, I guess he doesn't know Luffy as well as we know Luffy. We know Luffy well enough that it's like, Luffy's all about, I am going to do what I want to do to get freedom in any way, whatever, you know? And so that means even if I tell you that I'm not going to do something, I will do it if I feel like it needs to be done. And that is perfectly shown in the Shabondi Archipelago arc, where we have him making a promise to Hachi, saying, I'm not going to fuck with the Celestial Dragons. It'll be fine. Don't worry, I'm not going to touch them. And then a Celestial Dragon is being a fuckhead, and Hachi reminds him of the promise. It's not like he just did it in the spur of the moment without thinking. Hachi stopped him and reminded him of the promise and said, you said you wouldn't do it. And then Luffy still went and did it. And so Luffy doesn't listen to people. When he thinks something's important, he will go for it. So I wonder if Jinbei knows that and still said it anyway, or if he just doesn't know that part of Luffy well enough. He doesn't know that you can't talk Luffy out of it. Or maybe he does know that he used to be like that, but thinks maybe now Luffy has been humbled enough that possibly he's gonna think more before going into situations like this because he's taken so many L's. I don't know. Chopper has a kung fu point now. Interesting. Not much for me to say about it, but it's very interesting. And I just want to like pose this as a question. But do you think at this current point in time in this part of the story, do you think Brook is the most useless Straw Hat? Because, and I'm saying this as a labor of love, I consider Brook to be like a fun comic relief character, and I really love Brook. And he also has some great emotional moments and stuff, especially back in his own stuff, you know, back in Thriller Bark and stuff. He had some great emotional moments. I understand the purpose of him being on the crew. With all that being said, someone has got to be the least useful. And I think at this point in time in the story, it's got to be Brook, right? He's a great fighter, but he doesn't fight that much for us. His conversation dialogue, I wanna see, like, if you take out all of Brook's dialogue and just put it in a big, you know, in a book, would it just be the same thing over and over and over again for pages and pages and pages at a time until you got to something unique? Would it always be like oh, I have a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach, but I don't have a stomach. Oh, wow, you're the most beautiful thing I've ever laid my eyes on, and I don't have eyes, you know? Like, would it just be that 45-degree angle? Like, just constantly, you know, his bits. His bits are funny, and I like his bits, and the voice actor kills them. So this isn't a criticism of Brook's character. This is just an interesting data point. I think he adds the least to the crew, because also when you take his career, his job on the crew, like his role on the crew, he's the musician. Out of all of the crew members, the musician is the least useful. I'm not saying a musician isn't useful. I understand and appreciate the purpose of a musician is about crew morale a lot of the time, which is incredibly important. But, you know, it's not that important. Like, I feel like, I mean, he's one of the most recent additions in our crew. So it makes sense why he would be not you know, what, like, that he would be the least useful, because he's still quote unquote new to the crew, and also because we survived so long without him. Like, obviously we were able to survive that long without him being necessary. So anyone who was needed, we got them early on. Like a navigator, we needed a navigator really early, otherwise none of this could be done. But musician was saved to last. I think it does say something about the character, because that's also why, like, Luffy kind of recruited him on a whim of just like, you're a funny skeleton, come along, you know? So that it does fit with his character, him being the least useful, but I do think it's just funny to think about. And I was just thinking about it in this episode when I was like watching how they were handling the hostage situation or whatever, and he just like started playing a song, and like it didn't affect anyone, it didn't change anything that was going on, and then he's like, I want to see this mermaid's panties, and it's like, he takes the guy to go see that. Like, it's just, he's not really doing anything of note. But that's not a bad thing. Not every character needs to be, like, impeccably important. And I think as a comic relief, he's a good one. He's a very entertaining and great comic relief to the show. So I don't want to lose him, and I don't want necessarily Oda to change anything. I just think it's fun to think about. Anyway, let's move on to the next and final episode we're doing in this video, episode 534. Here we go. Okay, recap Rubik's. That's cute. Alright, well that's as far as I got. I did not get very far at all. It's a short recap. Hey, what are we supposed to do when it's a short recap? Yeah, it wasn't easy. Took us a couple years. The fish is pissed. Okay. Ah, it goes to the sea forest. Okay, everything goes to the sea forest. Aww, she's gonna have such guilt here. Especially when they're really nice to her, even though she has to be trapped in there. Aw, I'll be home by dinner. Cute. She's gone. Oh no. Oh no! Yes, well done, Brook. Brook heard me talking about how he's the most useless. Now he's gonna prove himself. A few hours ago. Yeah, that's true. We suck. His laugh! That's good. Oh, you're a fishman that can't swim. Oh, right. Of course. Of course. I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. Of course, he has a fruit. I'm so... Oh, Hachi! I'm so upset at myself for not putting 2 and 2 together. Hell yeah, Hachi. Hachi became so much better. He used to be so awful and boring and stupid. Don't insult how far he's come. He's just selfish. That makes sense, honestly. Damn. This is a good reason for these guys to be stronger than Arlong. Like, Arlong was the rejects who went with him. Arlong's crew was. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, this is an interesting way to do a sequel to Arlong, I think. Oh my god. Oh no, don't let anything happen to Hachi. Oh, you marked him? Oh no. Okay, so you can have multiple marks? Or did you just get rid of Shirahoshi? They'll strike you at full speed. Ah! Oh my god. Scumbag. You need to use your 6-sword style or whatever, Hachi, and cut them all up. Oh god. I think they'll still follow you out here. He said if they still strike you at full speed. Yep, that's full speed. Oh, Hachi! Oh! Oh god! Is Hachi dead? Oh! Oh, you can have 2 marks. I see. That's why he doesn't touch anyone with that hand. I understand. Okay, alright. I'm more interested in these villains now. Yep. Yes, okay. That's... I forgot we were looking at the past. Yeah, some of you will die. Oh my god. They're also more likely to die. Jesus. Oh my gosh, he just tosses them in the air. That's all he needs to do. Mm-hmm. Yes, she is, but I want you to stay away from her, Sanji. Oh no. You're gonna make her cry. Oh god, Sanji. Yeah, his hands are important. Oh my god. Hell yeah. Still fun watching him do the little mermaid kick. Mermaid kick? Whirlwind kick is what I meant to say. I got mermaids on the brain.
やっちまったろカンフーで
I'm one of the ones who beat them up, but I'm a doctor. Oh shit, they found Hachi. Oh, he's alive. Chopper. Doctor Magic. Do you have a cure in your bag for arrow wounds? Oh. Hachi's always trying to save us. Aww. He cares about us so much. Well, it was us, kind of, but not really. I don't think Hugh likes it though. He's like, please get out. No, hardest racing is good. Aww. This reminds me of when Kami was at the amusement park and she was so happy. Aww. Oh my god. Okay, Sea Forest is a grave. Or a graveyard, rather. Oh, we're seeing it now. Nobody forgets your ideals. Otohime. Okay, very nice. So we I mean, it ended there with us finding out there was Queen Otohime, who I imagine is Shirahoshi's mother. I'm guessing, who was assassinated. But Jinbei is saying her ideals are still present. I imagine she was probably a great person. Because, like, Neptune and Shirahoshi and the princes all seem like really stand-up guys. People. I didn't mean to call Shirahoshi a guy, even though guys is kind of gender neutral. But, like, they're all stand-up people. And I really... And it's funny because they can't really stand up because of their tails. But they're all... just super solid, amazing, sweet, and respectable from what we've seen of them so far. I really, really like King Neptune. I love Shirahoshi. Shirahoshi, I mean, obviously, this is a character that was crafted entirely for me. I mean, honestly, the only part about her that I like less is the fact that she's a mermaid. Because I actually don't like mermaids as much, I've said in the past. I mean, look, if I like women, and a mermaid is like half woman, half fish, I don't like fish, so why would I take away half of what I do like for, you know? It's like if I had, it's like if someone was like, here's a scoop of chocolate ice cream, you can have a scoop of chocolate ice cream. Hey, would you like me to actually replace half that scoop? And I go, oh, you have other flavors? And they're like, yeah, here, I'll replace half that scoop. So it's now half chocolate, half dog food. What? Why? Why would I want that? Just give me full chocolate. The chocolate bit is great. I don't think the chocolate tastes better being next to dog food. So I don't think a woman gets more beautiful when part of her is a fish. But obviously, part of the thing is like the sort of mystical, like or mythical, I guess, like past of like mermaids are specifically were specifically like touted as being like incredibly beautiful women. So it's like they are absolutely beautiful waist up, but then you know, to make them an actual like mythical creature or whatever, they're a half fish. But it's like because they're so beautiful from that, at the top half of their body, I guess that's for most people the appeal, is like how beautiful mermaids in general as a whole tend to be. But it's like, look, there's a lot of beautiful women in the world. I don't need any mermaids. But Shirahoshi, you know, if there's a mermaid that's like, you know, beautiful and a crybaby and absolutely massive, then yeah, I'm on board. So what was I saying before I went off on that tangent? Yeah, so the point is, her mother, I imagine, was like a really good person, because their whole family so far has seemed to be awesome, and that's what I really like about this. There's a misunderstanding going on. There is like this whole idea of like they think the Straw Hats are dangerous, but when we're not the problem here. But at the same time, they're still going about it some of the better ways that I feel like they could go about it. They're not getting too aggressive with the Straw Hats. They're not being so harsh. I really liked the prince's response to it, where they were like, look, just, you know, you want to get out of here, we'll go and try to find your ship and your crew member and get you out of here. By the way, we did say that we were going to deliver this message to you, so we're going to follow through on that. Like, I really like it. They just did it in such a reasonable, cool way. I appreciated it a lot. But yeah, so I like this family quite a lot. So and the fact that Shirahoshi wants to go back to the wants to go to the sea forest, and we find out it's a graveyard. She wants to see her mother's grave. That's very sweet. So something that I think is really cool here is, like, at the start of this arc, I was talking about Arlong and I also, when we first saw what's his name again? Hordy. When we first saw Hordy, my initial thought was like, oh, that looks like Arlong. Is he related to Arlong? Is whatever, right? And also earlier when we started this saga, like when we first did the time skip, didn't I say, like, what if we got matched up against Arlong? Like, we came across Arlong again to show how far we've come, you know? So I've mentioned Arlong quite a lot recently. And I mean, obviously, because it's Fishman Island, and he's the most important fishman that we've known so far. I mean, sorry, Jinbei, but, you know, like, impactful to the show, because he was like such an iconic early One Piece villain. But I like actually what they're doing with it, which I know it's not like these, like, Hordy and Decker, Van Decker. What is his proper name? Did I get it right? Van der Decken, not Van Decker. Van der Decken. It's not like they seem like they're going to be incredible villains so far. I imagine it's going to be like, you know, they're going to be fine villains. It's going to be, you know, functional for the arc. But I do find the idea of them very interesting, and the setup for them quite interesting. I like, you know, at this point in the show, we're trying to do this power scaling thing, right? We're trying to show that these guys are, you know, they're leftovers kind of from the Arlong era and the whole Arlong idea. But we've already beat Arlong, so how do you make them intimidating again? How do you make it so that we're actually nervous about these new fishmen, when it's like, well, we already beat a fishman who was supposed to be incredibly strong, which is Arlong, so why are we afraid of these guys now? And they gave a really good reason, which is like, one, you know, the main players were too young at the time to be pirates, but now, you know, time has passed. This is a thing. When you have 2 years of training, your potential villains are training as well. Like, that time isn't just the One Piece world doesn't stand still, and that's one amazing thing about the world building in this show. The movement of the story, everything is moving at the same time. So every second that our Straw Hats are doing something else, the rest of the world is progressing forward. There's no sort of stagnation. This is the way that you write a good D&D campaign as well. Is like, hey, you're in this dungeon or whatever. You want to take a long rest? You want to sleep for 8 hours? Sure, you can. Like, it might be safe here to sleep for 8 hours. That's great. Except that 8 hours that you're spending sleeping, someone else might be progressing through this dungeon, you know? So they will spend that 8 hours exploring the dungeon. Who knows how far they'll get? Maybe they'll get to the treasure before you, you know? Like, the idea of using time as something that you can use to your advantage, but so can your enemies. And that's what's happening in One Piece right now. If we didn't take these 2 years to train, and we came to Fishman Island, Hordy and this other guy and Van der Decken, like, they wouldn't be here doing this right now. But we came at the time where they are doing it. So yeah, and also the idea that, like, Arlong tried to recruit some of these guys and they said no. Like, Arlong was stingy with money, so like some of them who are just in it for the money, they weren't interested because he wouldn't pay them enough. So it kind of makes it feel like Arlong's crew, who were quite strong, were like the rejects of the fishman pirate type bad guys. So what we see here is like a stronger version of the crew who are actually, you know, rallied behind the same sort of cause, but stronger. It's a cool idea. I enjoy it. I think it's great. Hachi's almost dead. Oh, man. And he can have 2 marks. I'm glad that I got that question answered for me. By the way, I'm also pissed off at myself that, like, last episode I was like, why is he in a bubble? He looks like a fishman. Isn't he a fishman? Why do they have him in a bubble when the others aren't in bubbles? Like, I couldn't... They'd showed me that. I'd seen that he was a fishman, I'd seen that he's in a bubble, and I'd heard already that he had the mark fruit. How could I not put all those pieces together? I play Ace Attorney, I play Danganronpa, I play these detective games and stuff. Logic should be something I can piece together when you have the obvious clues there. And yet, I'm sorry, they had to spell it out for me. He had to go like, I'm a fishman who can't swim because of my devil's fruit and stuff. And I went, oh... I see. That's embarrassing. That's very embarrassing. But anyway, that is One Piece. Thank you for joining me for these episodes. Make sure to support the video if you can. As I've always said, I'm a small channel, so it would really help me out. And I just want to say thank you to Sundor, Doki Doki, Franco L, Paul Clark, FCC Views, Can Rotary Life, Nithel KS, Revenge Isn't There, If Rigby, Ash Josh Verma, Kenneth Lingdo, S Zellion, Joao Francisco, Sidin Raji, Gerard Soler Garcia, MF, Jose Cantoriano, Simon Bagan, and Cappy for all being a part of my Straw Hat crew on the YouTube membership down below. If you want to be part of them as well, make sure to go down below, click the little join button, and you can get 2 episodes or 2 videos early edited on this channel. You can also go to my Patreon account and get a lot of early videos in full-length version. That's the best way to support me. Go check that out in the description below. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.